Hi, and welcome to vlog 42. This is not bad, eh? So I'm down at Sook Shark, and this is the back end of Sook Shark. So this is where all the yachts are, and I'm just keeping an eye out because I've put my bag on a ledge over there, and I've just noticed this cat come over to investigate it. So if I ditch the vlog halfway through, I might need to go and rescue my bag from it. So thanks for coming back today. Again, we're continuing with the Get Me to New York theme. And it was really interesting doing the vlog yesterday and filling you in on everything that happened on Sunday, because it really does seem as soon as you set a goal, like the world just moves out of your way to allow you to achieve it. And what I want to do with the next 6 weeks is to take you through each of the kind of integral parts of, yes, it's good to focus on something, and yes, it's good to have that thing you want to do, but how do you actually put it into action? And one of the biggest components in that is planning. And it's quite ironic that today's vlog is on planning, because today did not go to plan at all. Sometimes you just get those days which everything happens, and it got to about 4 o'clock and I realised I hadn't even taken a Snapchat, I hadn't done anything on social media, and that's totally not like me at all. So how I've been building up my time just now in order to be able to cope with everything that's coming up is to try and delegate more responsibility and to try and organise my time a lot more effectively. And when I'm doing that in my calendar, it's not just a case of, putting in meetings and, making sure that I do all the tasks in my to-do list. It's not about that. I've found a really, really good way to do it is to actually set time aside to do certain types of tasks. So for example, today, I got up this morning and I had a couple of really sort of attention required tasks, just things that I really needed to concentrate on and I really needed to focus on. So I did them first thing in the morning, and I did them sitting at the table with a cup of tea, no distractions, phone on silent, and just battered through them. I did that for about 2 hours. Then when it came to about mid-morning, I had a couple of meetings, and the meetings were about business development. So the type of work that you do when you're focusing on something which requires a lot of attention is it's very focused, it takes a lot of concentration, it takes a lot of your analytical skills and problem solving skills and that kind of thing. When you're in a business development meeting, it takes a completely different set of skills. That's your interpersonal skills. That's when you're speaking to people, and that's when you're, conversing and putting across your message. And it's making people want to buy from you, and it's making people want to work with you. Sorry, I've got one eye on this cat. I think it's moving away. And that's totally different from when you're sitting head in the books. Because if I was to approach a business meeting with people the same way that I approach doing figures, I would never get any sales. Nobody would ever want to work with us because they're like, God, she's boring, So if I'm doing meetings, I try and put them in around about the same time, because you're out and about, it's time saving just to go around all the same meetings, and it gets you in that frame of mind. So then early afternoon, we are having an event on Thursday, which is our first open house in Kuwait, which I'm so excited for. We're using Snapchat geo filters, we are advertising on social media, we're tweeting all the companies that are coming along to get involved with them before it. We've got a huge social media campaign just around this one event, and it's amazing the way it's all coming together. So what early afternoon this afternoon needed was a brainstorming session about what we're going to do, like an event organisation session, and that revolves around what's needing to be done, when's it needing to be done, who needs to do it, what's the deadline, what's critical to happen and what's not critical. So if this doesn't happen, it's okay, but if this doesn't happen, it's going to have a detrimental effect. And that's a team session, and that's coming up with ideas. And in order to be coming up with ideas and to be brainstorming, that again is a different part of your dynamic, of your makeup, of your work profile that you use, because it's a different person than when you're trying to get people to buy from you. It's a different person than when you've got your head in the books and you're trying to work out figures, and can't work out which way the light's going here, that's it. And it's a different person again different person from when you're out about doing meetings, and a different person than when you've got your head in the books. This different person you are again is the person who's coming up with ideas and who's responding to ideas and who's thinking creatively about how we can get the best out of this. So that's another chunk of your time. So if you're doing something that requires brainstorming, or you've got something on your to-do list that's that type of task, set aside a couple of hours for it. Get food in. We ordered in some Chinese. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. None of us had eaten since the morning. Got in some Chinese, had a few cups of tea, and did it all around that. So set aside some time to do those specific tasks in the way that you want to do them. Then, sorry, I keep trying to move. I can't work out that's better. Then after that, I had a couple of hours where I had to catch up on some really important emails. This is financial information required for taking out a new lease. It's new company setup information. It's dealing with some charities that we've agreed to help, and we need to make sure that we've got the time to do it, and how much we're donating and how much we're taking tables. It's to do with press releases that we've got coming up in the Scottish press. It's to do with awards that we're applying for, all these things. And these are decision making tasks, and these require your instant response to be able to go, that's a good idea, we can afford that, we'll find the money how to do that. That's not a good use of our time, unfortunately we can't help with that. And it's making a decision and making it fast and sticking by it, and that again is a whole different kind of animal. So I think when you're planning your day, don't plan your day based around what's convenient to do. Plan your day based around what skills and what person do I need to bring to the table to achieve this task, and only bring that person to the table once during the day. Because if you keep jumping between them and you're making decisions, and then you're coming up with ideas, and then you're trying to look at figures, and then you're having to sell something, and you're jumping through all these different things, as you do that you lose a bit of the concentration that's required for each stage of that process. So if I'm looking at figures and somebody asks me to come up with a really creative idea, I probably won't come up with one straight away. So I'm letting myself down by trying to do that in the time that I'm dealing with something else. So why don't you try dividing up your day into the types of tasks that you want to work on? Especially if you're a startup, this will work very well. Divide up a certain amount of your day for planning and coming up with your marketing strategy and doing your social media content. And a different part of your day is on figures and setting your financial objectives. And a different part of the day is on your sales calls and that kind of thing. Do it by the type of you it requires to deal with the task. And get used to having all those split personalities, and get used to your team realising that you have all these split personalities. And yes, you can help them with everything, but you can't help them with everything at the one time. Okay, I'll leave you with that. What I'm going to do tomorrow night, I've said I would do it tonight and I ran out of time. What I'm going to do tomorrow night is I'm going to share with you the 10 tasks that I have divided my to-do list up into for going to New York. And please keep following the Snapchat story. I haven't done as much today because my planning was piss poor, but I will do more tomorrow. And please keep your eyes peeled on social media for our first Kuwait open house. We're really excited about how much social media input is going into it, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. We're going to just give you a last glimpse of the skyline of Kuwait City, and apologies again for not making more of an effort for this vlog. I promise you I will have at least brushed my hair for tomorrow's, and thanks for tuning in. Have a good night guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.